So yesterday we are on to a new franchise in the Spook6ular um, movie review portion of the show, and yesterday I watched Ring. I watched the original Ring, and I've never seen the original Japanese Ring before. I've seen the American ones. But when I was younger, finding Japanese movies was a lot harder than it is today. And so, there's a couple of things on my checklist that I haven't checked off yet, and Ring is among them. I watched Ring on Shudder, which is a feature of AMC Plus. And anyway, so again, I've only seen the American version of Ring and Ring 2. I know that there's a new American Rings. I haven't seen that shit. I also know, I was looking into this, and I am aware that there is a Freddy versus Jason style movie with Sadako from Ring and the character from Ju-on, which I also haven't seen. So I'm going to look into that as soon as possible, maybe this year, maybe next year. So I'm looking into that because I love Freddy versus Jason. Anyway, so Ring. This is a great movie. I just want to say that first and foremost. The way that this movie's the way that the movie flows is, in my opinion, really excellent. So they start, the movie with two teenage girls. They're talking about school or whatever, talking about boys, whatever. And so they're having a good old time. Then they start telling the story about a scary videotape, and then one of them goes to the bathroom, and the other one reveals before she goes to the bathroom that she saw the tape, and it's been a week. So the other one goes to the bathroom, and then she dies mysteriously. And the way that the people die in this movie, it's not shown until the very end, which I love. The other thing about this movie that I really love about how people die is they literally get scared to death, right? The phrase, the saying, "Oh, I got scared to death." Well, that's what happens in this movie, right? There's no slashing, right? There's no cutting people's heads off, right? There's no disease, right? It's a supernatural horror film, and the way that the victims die is from getting scared to death. Their heart just stops and they just go cold and drop dead on the floor. And so anyway, so all the bodies start to get found, and I think it was an aunt of one of the characters from the beginning who dies is an investigative reporter, and she's like, "Oh, I gotta look into this." She goes to where they stayed on vacation 7 days ago, or I guess 8 or 9 days ago at that point, and finds the videotape. She watches it. She gets the phone call, and then she takes a photo of herself or whatever, and she realizes that she's cursed, basically. And so now she's starting to freak the fuck out. She's got a kid, by the way. She's a single mother. And then she goes to her ex-husband to ask for help, and then he watches the tape. And then they go on a hunt to figure it out. So the way that this moves, so it starts, a character gets killed, and then it's kind of basically a murder mystery movie, which is what I really enjoy that about this movie. It's a lot of horror movies, they're kind of scary the whole time, really, but this movie is it's kind of scary at the start, right? When you're watching the tape with the main characters, they watch it a couple times, they do frame advance. The sound effects, right? The music, and just, it's all really good. The tape itself, also very scary. It's a very scary aspect of the film. One of my favorite parts of the film. And the other thing about this movie I want to talk about real quick is the music. The music is incredible. It sounds it sounds a lot like Silent Hill, where it's just there's a lot of random noises and not even musical instruments at times, but just random noises, and then it turns into musical stuff, and it's just really unpredictable, and it kind of builds that kind of that vibe, because it's the music is unsettling, but it also sounds good. So I just want to say that much. So anyway, they travel to an island to find out more stuff. They're in Japan, so I guess there's a lot of islands in Japan. But they travel to an island to find out some more stuff about the character from the tape, who's in the tape. They find out that the tape is is it 40 years old? How old is it? Is it what's going on? Because the characters, the people in the film died 40 years ago, so what the fuck's going on? Anyway, and so eventually they kind of figure out, oh, by the way, the ex-husband has some supernatural ability to read people's minds or something. I don't quite understand. Like, they didn't really explain that. So anyway, so the character who's Sadako's mom is like also one of those people. She can like communicate with the ocean or something. So then the ex-husband that the investigative reporter brings along is also one of those. So he like reads some motherfucker's mind, some shit like that. I don't even know what the fuck was going on there, but it was pretty cool. So he finds out that basically Sadako was killed by a corrupt doctor, and so, you want to know why. They find out that the well that was, it's in the video, is she's trying to come out at the well. The thing I love about the videotape is the videotape ends when, like, the last frame of it, they don't really acknowledge it in the movie, which is weird, because they're doing the frame advance at one part of the movie. They don't really acknowledge this as part of the movie too much. Like, the last frame of the videotape is like it stares at a well for the last shot, and then the very last frame is like you see like an arm come out, but they don't really mention that in the movie. They don't mention like, oh, what's going on? Is she trying to climb out? Like, what the fuck, right? And then like at the end, when they show the rest of the tape, like the tape like kicks off from there. She climbs out of the thing, and it's just really great. But anyway, so they find a well that's below the cabin, and so they find like the cabin that the kids stayed at on vacation that the investigative reporter saw the tape at. They went back there, look in the basement, and there's the well. Oh shit. So then they go in the well and try to like dump all the water out, which is like a complicated bucket scheme. It's really bizarre. Then they find the corpse of Sadako, and like the investigative reporter bitch, she like, oh, by the way, her kid saw the tape at one point. So that's another plot point. That was pretty good too. And I know that that's going to be a theme in Ring 2. But anyway, so she finds the corpse. She's like holding the corpse and saying, oh, your poor soul or whatever. She gets out of the hole. They call the cops. And then like her 7-day deadline expires, and she's fine. She's good to go. So she's thinking, oh, okay, we set the spirit free or some fucking shit, whatever. Okay. And then, she's home, she's fine, she's living life. But then the husband, the ex-husband goes home, and then he's like starting to feel a little creeped out because he watched the tape one day after her. So he's just assuming she's fine, he's fine, right? But it turns out, twist ending, she was only fine because she copied the tape and showed it to him. And that's how you pass the curse on. You just got to give it to someone else, right? And so it has nothing to do with them going in the well. Like, that was just their own fun side quest. So anyway, so then he dies. And it shows what we didn't see at the beginning of the movie. It shows what happens. And of course, it starts right where the tape leaves off. She climbs out of the well. She walks slowly toward the screen. Now, then the guy is like, whoa, that's fucking weird. I don't even know if the tape is in my VCR or whatever. And then she starts to climb out of the TV. And again, the way she kills people is she just scares them to death. Right, it's a great thing. You see the shot with the eyeball; it's on the poster right there. And like again, the thing about her is that she always has the hair in her face, and then like you don't see her face really; you just see the eyeball. Right? It's a great ending. It's a wonderful ending. And then like the investigative reporter sees that he's dead, and she's confused, and she's trying to save the kid because the kid's like 3 days left or something. Then the movie ends. Anyway, it's a great movie. I love it. I've seen the American version. I also like the American version. I don't know if I'll watch the American version too this year or not, but never seen the Japanese version. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed this movie quite a bit. I thought it was great. I'm going to be watching Ring 2. Now, I'm aware that there's Spiral. I'm aware of this also. It's another Ring 2 called Spiral. I don't know where I can find Spiral, so I might watch that at some other point. People say that Spiral's not that good and Ring 2 is like the better sequel or whatever. I don't know. So anyway, I'm not going to be watching Spiral this time around, but we'll be watching Ring 2 tonight. If anyone wants to watch it with me, I'll be reviewing it tomorrow morning. But anyway, Ring, it's a great movie. I don't know. I really, really enjoyed it. And again, the unsettlingness of it, like how it's like kind of like a slow build up. And like it's kind of like a murder mystery, and then you don't really like it's good. I love the paranormal stuff. I thought it was a good movie, so there you go. Boom.